Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video, I want to talk about something that I don't think people are thinking about, or I haven't even really seen any videos or other YouTubers or other people talking about it. The way this kind of came into my lap is I saw a Instagram reel about it, and then I did some more information searching, and I think that there's a tremendous potential in certain stocks due to a certain industry. So I'll get into it in a minute, but we always look at the overall market, right? So how's the SPY doing today? Well, yesterday it dropped off terribly, and it's kind of consolidating today, right? We're almost break even, or we're almost at 0% on the day. So hopefully it catches itself at this new support level, but there's a lot of momentum moving downward. So I would watch out for that. The volatility is at -4, so that's good. It seems to be coming down. We did have a giant gap yesterday, so it makes sense that the gap will eventually get filled. So that's looking fine. I guess we could look at the NASDAQ too. The NASDAQ is pretty similar to the SPY, and the Russell is dropping down. It's at almost -5% on the day. The other thing that we want to look at is Bitcoin. Bitcoin dropped dramatically yesterday, and it seems to be trying to catch itself today around this 22,500 mark. So that's another one that we're going to watch. But anyway, let's get into the reason you guys are all here. I believe that there's a market that we could get ahead of, right? I mean, with inflation and interest rates and gas prices and a lot of this stuff we don't foresee, or we don't know exactly when it's coming. And it's hard to guess where, it is in certain regards, like if it's at the top or the bottom. But I have reason to believe that we are at the start of something. So anyway, let's stop beating around the bush. Like and subscribe if you guys find any value in this, or if you already know about it, let me know. But so the beef market, right? Cattle. So now is the time. We're in the spring, right? At the time of this recording, we're in June. So it's a little after the spring, before summer. All of the new cattle, particularly cows. I mean, you could say like chickens and other livestock, but in general, cows are just being born. So they're still small and relatively, I guess we call it cheaper to feed because they don't eat as much, right? And they're still living off the milk of their parents. But as they get older, they will consume more. And there's a reason to believe that, or a reason that I believe in the fall, beef prices are going to soar, because that's the time when the farmers are going to start slaughtering the animals for food, and the price of all the feeding and care for these animals, which has gone up over the last, half a year to a year, is really going to catch up. And I think that the price of beef is going to skyrocket. So now with that in mind, that's the whole premise for the video, right? The price of beef is going to skyrocket in the fall. But now the question is, what stocks can we look at in order to make a profit from this, right? Because we're all in the business of trying to get our portfolios back on track. Mine, everybody's has been devastated. So these are some ways that we could maybe get ahead of it. Now that we have kind of a timeline to work off of, we can, get ahead of it. So anyway, I broke these down into 3 different categories, right? So we'll go through each category as we go. So the first one is the direct stocks that are related to the beef industry. So the first stock that I kind of notated here is ticker symbol TSN, which is Tyson Foods. So they are, one of the 4 largest beef producers in America. And these 4 largest producers make up, like 80% of the overall consumption, right? Which is crazy. Now, some of these other ones, they're not publicly traded companies, so we can't really do anything about it, right? So, for instance, the 4 is Cargill, Tyson Foods, JBS, and National Beef Packing. So Tyson is one of these 4 that is actually a publicly traded company. So I believe we should watch out for Tyson. The price looks pretty good right now. We're at levels here that you would invest in with a normal stock. And I really believe that in the fall, if everything goes, the way it's looking, this could be, hopefully it would come back to a 98 range. And it's not a lot of movement, but it is something that you could hedge against all the inflation. So anyway, Tyson Foods is one of them. Another one that I'm looking at here is ticker symbol JBSAY. Now this is on the OTC market. This isn't like Tyson. This is a smaller cap stock, but this is it's based in, I believe it might even be China. Anyway, it's outside of the United States, but this is another stock that you could look at if you can trade OTC. This one's been beaten down, very similar to the other stocks. So this is another one. This is one of the 4 major meat companies in the U.S. So this is another one you could watch, right? So those are the 2 direct, right? Those are the companies that are producing meat. Now, there is another impact that will be had on a number of other. Now we're going to look into the second section here that we have to think about. And I believe that this might depend on, it's hard to say how things affect different things, but so this could make the stock rise or fall depending on what happens. So now we're going to look at some fast food companies that are related to the beef industry, right? So for the one argument, we're just going to use McDonald's as an example for the case study, right? Because McDonald's serves burgers, right, and chicken, and they're one of the major players in the beef market, right? So let's look at McDonald's here. So on the one hand, you could argue that the price of a cheeseburger is going to go up, so McDonald's will make more money. But it also could work the reverse, right? If the beef prices go up, then they have to pay more for their beef. And if they're not willing to raise the price in proportion to the additional cost of procuring the beef, then they're going to take a loss. So the stock could go down. So I guess what I'm trying to say is these are stocks that will be affected by the increase in the cost of beef. So just something to watch out for, right? It could create volatility. So McDonald's is one that we're going to look at, right? Another one that you want to keep on your eyes is, keep on your list is Wendy's. Very similar to McDonald's, just a lot of beef and chicken. Another one is ticker symbol QSR, which is restaurant brands. So that's, like Burger King, very similar to the last 2 we talked about. Another one is Yum Brands. So that's KFC and Taco Bell. Taco Bell has a ton of items with ground beef in it, so the price of ground beef is going to go way up. Here's one that you guys probably didn't think about, and I didn't think about it at first either, but the more I looked into it, Starbucks, because they use a lot of milk products. So if the cost of beef is going up, that means that they're slaughtering the cows for their beef, and if they're getting, if they're selling a cow for more than they normally do, then they're going to sell it. They're not going to keep it and let it produce milk. So I think that this could increase the cost of milk because there will be a shortage. People will be killing the cows rather than milk them. So that's just another one that I thought about here. Another one is ticker symbol CMG, Chipotle. They use a lot of ground beef products as well. Another one is SHAK, which is Shake Shack. Again, very burger place. Another one is ticker symbol WING, Wingstop. So now, it's also important to keep in mind that a lot of these stocks are dividend stocks, right? I mean, Chipotle's not. Yum Brands is, QSR is, McDonald's is. So that's another thing to keep in mind too, right? But anyway, so that's the second section. So we talked about the first section, the direct seller of the beef. Now we talked about some of the fast food places that could be affected by beef prices. Now the last category is the meat alternatives. So you know where I'm going with this, right? Ticker symbol BYND, Beyond Meat, which has been completely beaten down. They're a meat substitute, right? So let's just play the scenario out. The cost of beef has skyrocketed. You go to McDonald's and a cheeseburger is now double the cost. So what are you to do? You can't, I guess you could buy things for double the price, but instead, why wouldn't you just switch to a meat alternative, right? If Beyond Meat is making jerky and meatballs and hamburger meat that tastes exactly like beef, then, that's what you go for, right? It would be cheaper relatively, and unless Beyond Meat raises their prices, which I believe they should if that's the case, because demand will go up and their profits will go up. But anyway, so that's an alternative. Beyond Meat is a great alternative to beef. Another one is the ticker symbol TTCF, which is Tattoo Chef, very similar to Beyond Meat. So I think that these could actually benefit from a rise in the price of beef. As long as they have enough supply to match the demand for it, I think they could even raise their margins and make even more money. So anyway, guys, those are the 3 different groups that I am watching as we go into the fall. Let me know if you guys agree with this analysis. Let me know if you don't. Let me know if there's any stocks that I'm missing. And please like and subscribe. Your support means the world. I'll see you guys on the next one.